Hello and welcome back to Reason News. Today we're dissecting a move by the highest office in the land that has sent shockwaves through the American criminal justice system. In a series of sweeping executive orders, the president has taken aim at one of the most contentious issues of the past decade: cashless bail. The directives specifically target Washington D.C, but they also signal a much broader national effort to dismantle a system that many argue promotes fairness and equity, while opponents claim it's a direct threat to public safety. For years, the cash bail system has been a staple of American jurisprudence. You get arrested, a judge sets an amount, and you pay it to get out of jail while you await trial. It's a system built on a simple premise: a financial incentive to ensure you show up to court. But for many, especially those in low-income communities, this system isn't about justice, it's about wealth. It's a system that can keep an innocent person behind bars simply because they can't afford to pay, while a potentially dangerous, wealthy individual can walk free. This glaring inequality led to a national movement for bail reform. Jurisdictions across the country, from New Jersey and New Mexico to the entire state of Illinois, began implementing what's known as cashless bail. In this system, a person is released from jail without having to pay, with the judge making the decision based on factors like public safety and flight risk, not on their ability to pay a bond. The idea was to create a more equitable system, but critics of cashless bail, including the president, have long argued that these reforms have led to a spike in crime, with repeat offenders being let back out into the streets. This brings us to Monday's executive orders. The president signed a series of directives that are a direct frontal assault on these reforms. The first order focuses squarely on the District of Columbia, a city where he has already invoked emergency authority to address a perceived crime crisis. This order seeks to end cashless bail in the district by instructing federal agencies and law enforcement to hold arrestees in federal custody and pursue federal charges whenever possible. The goal is clear: circumvent DC's local laws and force a return to a more punitive system. Here's a video from LiveNow from Fox.
So I'll start signing the executive orders. To me, this is a very, very big deal. One of the executive orders has to do with cashless bail. That was when the big crime in this country started. And I can tell you who did it, when, but I don't want to do that because others followed pretty quickly. But that was when it happened. Somebody kills somebody, they go in, don't worry about it, no cash, come back in a couple of months, we'll give you a trial. You never see the person again. And I mean, they kill people and they get out. Cashless bail. They thought it was discriminatory to make people put up money because they just killed 3 people lying on a street. Any street all over the country, cashless bail. We're ending it, but we're starting by ending it in D.C., and that we have the right to do through federalization. Okay, let's go. Could I ask you to say exactly what this is?
Of course. So, as you've consistently identified, sir, cashless bail policies are a key driver of the disorder we see on city streets all over America. Catch and release system allows criminals to keep going back out onto the street and reoffending. What this executive order does, it charges your attorney general with identifying jurisdictions all over the country that have cashless bail policies, and then it withholds or revokes federal funds and grants that are flowing to those jurisdictions to ensure that we're only supporting the people who have reasonable common sense policies around crime.
So what area does it cover?
Potentially anywhere that has a cashless bail policy. So some of the largest cities, some of the most left-wing states in America
Almost
have adopted.
all of them, right?
Illinois would be a great example of that, sir.
Oh, they have a great cashless bail. You don't even have to go to court sometimes. No, Illinois, I love that state. It's a great state, but it's run so badly by Pritzker. They threw him out of the family business and he becomes governor. Now he wants to run for president. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, we'll sign right here, right?
Sir.
So important. And this isn't Republican, Democrat. This is, and by the way, most Democrats agree with us. But this is just, we got to bring our country back. Okay? That's a big one.
But the real national story is contained within a separate executive order. This directive gives Attorney General Pam Bondi 30 days to compile a list of all states and jurisdictions that have substantially eliminated cash bail for crimes that pose a clear threat to public safety. The order goes on to threaten to withhold or revoke federal funding, including grants and contracts, from those jurisdictions if they do not reverse their policies. It's a powerful tool of coercion, and it's been framed as a necessary measure to protect communities. This move, of course, has been met with immediate and fierce pushback. Legal experts and civil liberties advocates argue that a presidential executive order cannot override state and local laws. They contend that this move is a gross overreach of federal power and will be challenged in court. Organizations like the American Civil Liberties Union have already spoken out, stating that ending cashless bail would criminalize poverty and disproportionately impact Black and Hispanic communities. They also point to studies that show little to no correlation between bail reform and rising crime rates. For example, a 2024 Loyola University Chicago report on Illinois bail law found no increase in crime 1 year after implementation. The political implications are just as significant. The president is making crime a central pillar of his agenda, framing cashless bail as a disastrous liberal experiment that needs to be reversed. This is a message that resonates with a large portion of the electorate who are concerned about public safety. On the other hand, Democrats and criminal justice reform advocates are doubling down on their position, arguing that true safety comes from addressing the root causes of crime, not from locking up more poor people. This executive order sets the stage for a major legal and political battle, a clash of two very different philosophies on how to build a safer society. So what's the bottom line? The president has used the power of his office to directly challenge a key component of criminal justice reform across the country. The move is highly controversial, legally dubious, and guaranteed to face significant opposition. Whether it stands up in court or not, it has already achieved its intended political effect. It has thrust the issue of cashless bail into the national spotlight, forcing a conversation about fairness, public safety, and the role of the federal government in local law enforcement. It is a debate that goes to the heart of what we believe justice should be. Thank you for joining in. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you updates as the legal challenges unfold. For more in-depth analysis of the issues shaping our world, be sure to like and subscribe to Reason News. Until next time, stay informed, updated, and curious.